Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football mock draft. Today's video is a 10-team PPR mock draft from the third pick, and is also a 3 wide receiver draft. And this was requested by one of my subscribers, whose name is Alex. And I need to, oh my goodness, whatever. We're just going to do the draft with a 1-minute pick timer, but that is a-okay. So the first pick of the draft was Christian McCaffrey, followed by Alvin Kamara. So we're going to pause the draft here so that we have time to figure out what we want to do. And before we make this pick, I want to ask you guys to please go down below and click that subscribe button, because if you want to win your league, I'm going to be giving you guys all the tips to win during the draft and to win during the season, to make those correct waiver wire pickups, to make those correct trades, to set your lineup correctly, and to win the championship and kiss that trophy, kiss that belt, kiss whatever you're going to fucking win. Even if you win, just kiss that fucking money. Kiss them Benjamins, because we're winning here. So the first pick was CMC, followed by Alvin Kamara, which makes my pick very simple here. And I'm just going to go Saquon Barkley. Now, Ezekiel Elliott could have potentially been a pick here for me, but as of right now, when I'm recording this video at 8:04 at 11 p.m. at night, Ezekiel Elliott he's still holding out. He's not attending training camp. He did not report, so we don't want anything to do with Ezekiel Elliott here. After we went Saquon Barkley, David Johnson went, followed by Ezekiel Elliott, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, Le'Veon Bell, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Todd Gurley, James Conner, Juju Smith-Schuster, Odell Beckham Jr., Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook. So what I noticed is a lot of people in these 3 wide receiver drafts will go with the double wideout strategy. This guy went with Hopkins and Odell. This guy went with Adams and Juju, and Julio and Tyreek. Now, that's why I believe that in a 3 wide receiver league, if you believe you want to go 2 wideouts, you should be picking at the end of the draft. If you are getting back here, towards the back is the best spot if you want to go with the double wide receiver strategy. That's even in any league. That is the best place to do it, because if you're at 3 and you reach on D Hop or Devontae Adams, I think, in my opinion, that's not the greatest strategy. Even though this is indeed a 3 wideout league, I am not very, very, very confident in going AB in this situation. If it's a 14-team league, maybe I'd pull the trigger on AB here, but no, not here. I'd rather just wait and hope that Evans comes back to me here, or just go with 2 other wideouts. So we're just going to go with another running back here. Now, if you wanted to go with Kelsey, you can, oh my god, my time ran out. So it auto-picked me the guy that I was going to pick anyways, which was Nick Chubb. I like Chubb a lot. That's exactly who I was going to pick. So we're going to pause the draft so that that does not happen again, because it actually gave us the guy we wanted. Now, I wanted to pick Chubb because I think he's the best running back that was still available at that time. Damian Williams was still available, but he's hurt. Not hurt. Yeah, he is hurt. Actually, he has a hamstring problem. Andy Reid seemed pretty pissed off about that, but that's a-okay, because now we can go with the receivers that we want. But even though even though Mike Evans went, we still have some wideouts that we like here. So we're gonna go with Keenan Allen here. He's the best wide receiver available right now, in my opinion. I like him more than Thielen, because even though Keenan Allen has that injury proneness, he is on a better team, in my opinion. The Chargers, in my opinion, are a better team than the Vikings. The Chargers are going to look to throw it a lot more, in my opinion, now without Melvin Gordon. And Keenan Allen is he's a great route runner, one of the best route runners in the league. He has great hands, great speed, and is going to be scoring some touchdowns. So we like Keenan Allen here. Especially in a PPR league, when you're getting a guy who could be catching 10 passes potentially a game, that's 10 free points for you. So after we went Keenan Allen, his teammate Melvin Gordon went, who may not be his teammate for so long after Melvin Gordon may end up getting traded. You got to keep that in mind when you're drafting. Don't draft Melvin Gordon, in my opinion. After Melvin Gordon, T.Y. went, followed by Zach Ertz, Leonard Fournette, Aaron Jones, Adam Thielen, Kerryon Johnson, Devontae Freeman, Pat Mahomes, Amari Cooper, Julian Edelman, Stefan Diggs, George Kittle, and Josh Jacobs. So now, what I've noticed is the big 3 tight ends have went Kelsey, Ertz, and Kittle. All of those tight ends typically go before the first 4 rounds, so that's very normal to happen. Kelsey usually the first to go, potentially in the first round, potentially in the second round. And then Ertz and George Kittle follow soon after, usually in the 3rd and 4th round. And Pat Mahomes was the first quarterback off the board in the 4th round. Now, typically in your at-home league, if you're in a league where people are not as smart, not as fantasy savvy, like you are because you're watching all of my videos, Pat Mahomes is going to go in the 1st or 2nd round. I personally would not do that. In a 3 wide receiver league, you can't pull the trigger on Pat Mahomes this early. Even in the 4th round, I would not pull the trigger, in my opinion. But Pat Mahomes may go in the 1st or 2nd round, but guys like Rodgers, Luck, Watson may end up going in the third, fourth round. There may be 5 quarterbacks taken before the fourth round comes to a close in certain leagues. So keep that in mind. So it's our pick. And we already got 2 great running backs. So we're obviously just going to go receiver here. So we're going to resume the draft and go with some wideouts. So there are a few wideouts available. Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Kenny Galladay, Chris Godwin are guys that I like. So we're just going to go with Robert Woods here. In my opinion, the best wideout for the Rams. For fantasy, he's going to be very consistent this year, just like he was last year. And he's really going to burst out onto the scene this year and be the wide receiver 1 on the LA Rams. And I like that a lot. So we're going to go with Robert Woods here. After we went Robert Woods, Marlon Mack went, followed by Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, Brandon Cooks. So Robert Woods' teammate Brandon Cooks went there. Pretty typical. This guy went with a 3 wide running back and a tight end strategy for his first 4 picks, which is pretty weird in a 3 wide receiver league. Personally, I would not do that. The running backs here are looking okay, but we're just going to go wide receiver. Because in these type of leagues, running backs do go later because you need to start 3 wide receivers. Now this guy went with 4 running backs early. That is clearly a glitch because you would not want to go 4 running backs in this type of a format. 4 wide receivers may make sense. 4 running backs, not at all. So we're looking at the wide receiver position here, and we're looking at guys like Kenny Galladay, Chris Godwin are the 2 that are still available. Now we're likely here. We're picking between either of these guys now, but I'm going to make a case for either of these guys. Chris Godwin is going to be the wide receiver 2 behind Mike Evans on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers this year, in my opinion, are going to have a great offense. Now, they are going to have a shitty defense, so they're going to be on the field a lot, throwing the ball, slinging the ball. Jameis Winston's going to be throwing the ball a lot, so that is the reason why the offense is going to be so great, because their defense sucks, and they're going to try to catch up. And you know that division in the NFC, Tampa Bay, the Falcons, the fucking New Orleans Saints, they love slinging that rock in the Panthers. They get into shootouts constantly. So they have a bunch of games where shootouts are going to happen, and Chris Godwin's going to eat in those games. And then there's Kenny Galladay, the wide receiver 1, in my opinion, for the Detroit Lions. Y'all like Kenny Galladay. He scored a bunch of touchdowns last year. He played pretty good even with an injured Stafford. Stafford was injured at the end of last season. He hurt his back, and Kenny Galladay still played pretty good. But I think in this situation, I am going to go with the guy that I wouldn't necessarily always take here, but a guy that has, in my opinion, after I gave my analysis of both guys, I want to go Chris Godwin for the upside of him being absolutely great this year. And a little spoiler here, a guy like Kenny Galladay's backup, Marvin Jones, not his backup, the wide receiver 2 on the team, is going a bunch of rounds later and is probably going to be just as good as Kenny Galladay, if not potentially better. So we're going to go with Chris Godwin here. After we went with Chris Godwin, AJ Green, Mr. Injury Prone, has came off the board, followed by David Montgomery, Kenny Galladay, Tyler Lockett, Derrick Henry, James White, Chris Carson, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Boyd, Sony Michel, Kenyon Drake, Baker Mayfield, Andrew Luck, Tariq Cohen. So now it is our pick, and I hope Penny falls to us here. So we are just going to go wide receiver and hope that Penny falls to us, so that we get 4 solid wide receivers. So we got our 3 wide receivers to start in our lineup and our flex. So we're going to go with the best wideout available. And in my opinion, that is Calvin Ridley, the number 2 wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, who is also in that same division with Chris Godwin in a lot of shootout games. They're playing 11 straight games in the Dome in Atlanta, 13 out of 16 fantasy football games in the Dome. And we like Calvin Ridley here to have a true breakout year after having a nice season last year. After we selected Calvin Ridley, Aaron Rodgers went, followed by Jarvis Landry, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson. So we have seen that 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks are coming off the board and 3 tight ends. And like I said, all of these quarterbacks could potentially go even earlier than where they went here. So now we're going to go with running backs, because even though this is a 3 wide receiver league, wide receiver starting lineup league, you need to make sure that you still have the running backs that are going to be able to carry you through the season. Because if a guy like Chubb gets hurt, a guy like Saquon gets hurt, or Calvin Ridley gets hurt, any of these guys, when people are on bye, you need someone to fill in. So Tevin Coleman, in my opinion, I'm just not drafting him. That's a little too high for Tevin Coleman on a backfield that is very confusing. I'd rather just get Breida late. Now, it's between Lamar Miller and Rashad Penny. Now, since Dante Foreman did end up getting cut from Lamar Miller's team on the Houston Texans, now he's the head. Lamar Miller's the only guy there. at the running back position. So we're going to go with Lamar Miller instead of Penny because Lamar Miller is the running back one. And unless they trade for someone, if a trade has happened by the time you're watching this and the Houston Texans get Melvin Gordon, then avoid Lamar Miller. And I would have went Rashad Penny in that situation. But right now, Lamar Miller seems pretty good to be. Lamar Miller is never going to score you 30 points, but he's always going to be good for 12. So that's why I like Lamar Miller to be a solid flex option. After we went Lamar Miller, Evan Ingram went followed by Mike Williams. And we got to pause the draft because I'm stupid and didn't edit the settings correctly. So Lamar Miller, Evan Ingram, Mike Williams, Tevin Coleman, O.J. Howard, Alshon Jeffrey, Austin Eckler, Rashad Penny, Deshaun Watson, Eric Ebron, Darius Geis, Matt Ryan, Darrell Henderson, Sterling Shepard, Allen Robinson. So we're going to resume the draft. And what I noticed is in these type of leagues, you're going to see tight ends go a lot later because you have to fill out 3 wide receivers. So the tight end position is a lot or is not as important. So you're going to see guys like, let's look at the board right now. Guys like Hunter Henry still available, Cook, guys that typically go a lot earlier than this. So we're going to go with a running back yet again to build more running back depth. And we're going to go with Latavius Murray, the backup for Alvin Kamara, but not much of a backup because they're going to both be on the field a bunch during the game. Alvin Kamara, obviously the starter, but Latavius Murray could be stealing touchdowns, could be catching some balls and running like 10 times a game. And if Alvin Kamara was to go down, Latavius Murray would be shot up to a top 12 running back probably in fantasy. So we're going to go with Latavius Murray. After Latavius Murray, Dante Pettis went followed by Christian Kirk, Larry Fitz, and Miles Sanders. So the quarterback that we really wanted in Matt Ryan is gone, so that's fine. We'll just go tight end here, and we'll go with Hunter Henry in the 9th round because I think that I like this Chargers offense. We already have Keenan Allen, but I think Hunter Henry is going to be a big touchdown guy. He's going to be catching a few passes a game. He's not a guy that's going to be catching 6, 7, 8 passes a game, but he will be. He's a big body for Philip Rivers to throw to. Philip Rivers loves the tight end. He loved Antonio Gates for most of his career, so we're going to go with Hunter Henry here. After we went Hunter Henry, Will Fuller was selected, followed by Geronimo Allison, Jordan Howard, Royce Freeman, Drew Brees, Marvin Jones, David Njoku, LaShawn McCoy, Sammy Watkins, Jared Goff, MVS, Kareem Hunt, Corey Davis, and Carson Wentz. So now we're going to get another wideout because we need to get some wideouts because we have 1, 2, 1, 2. We got 2 running backs, and we have 4 running backs. Holy shit, I can't fucking count. 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs. And we got 3 wideouts. So we're gonna go with one more wideout here to build more of that wideout depth in a 3 wideout league. So we're gonna go with D.D. Westbrook, the potential wide receiver 1 of the Nick Foles-led Jacksonville Jaguars, a guy who could be catching hella touchdowns and be getting a bunch of passes and look to truly break out this year on the Jags. So after we went D.D. Westbrook, Ronald Jones went, followed by Vance Refrigeration, Vance McDonald, Kyler Murray, and Cam Newton. So we are likely just going to either build. Now, we're not going to build more running back depth because the running backs that are right here, I don't exactly love. Now, the quarterback position, I don't really love Russell Wilson. I mean, I will pick him in situations. I don't love him that much. So I think we're just going to wait because let's pause the draft because I want to explain something here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 teams have a quarterback. So this guy has 2 quarterbacks. So we can just wait, and hopefully Jameis Winston will come to us so these guys don't pick backups before we come back. Or Goff. But I'd like to get Winston for the Winston-Godwin combo. So we are just going to go wide out one more time here. So we're going to resume the draft. And we're going to go with a guy that I think also has a shit ton of upside on a team that is not necessarily the best, and that is Curtis Samuel. Now his buy is 7, so you want to be careful you don't have too many guys on the same buy at the wide receiver position. So we got one guy buy 7, so that's perfectly fine. So we're going to go with Curtis Samuel here. Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore are 2 wideouts that are probably going to put up comparable numbers in my opinion. And just like with Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay, there's like a 5-round difference in where they go. And I think they're going to put up comparable stats. So Curtis Samuel in the 11th round is quite a good pick. So after we went Curtis Samuel, the Bears defense was picked, followed by Russell Wilson, Jared Goff, Cortland Sutton, N'Keal Harry, Damian Harris, Jalen Samuel, Austin Hooper, Jameis Winston, LA Rams, Adrian Peterson, Kiki Cootie, Dante Foreman, Golden Tate, Golden Tate. So we really fucked up there not going Jameis because Jameis did not end up falling to us. But it's okay because we'll just wait one more round and go quarterback. And since we have since this is a 10-team league, you're easily going to be able to find a backup quarterback on the waiver wire. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about going backup quarterback here. So we're going to go with one more. How many receivers and shit do we have? We got to pause the draft again. Pause the draft. And I think we might actually be able to add the I'm an idiot. We could have done this a while ago. Okay, now we're going to resume the draft. Turn this off because we don't want to get notifications on our phone. And resume the draft. Okay. So, let's see here. We have 1, 2, a 3, a 4, 4 running backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers. So we're going to need some more running backs. So we're going to go with Peyton Barber because his role on the Tampa Bay Chargers may end up being the running back one. And like I said, they're going to be on offense a lot. So they're likely will be able to run the ball a lot. And if they're on the 1 yard line, 2 yard line, 5 yard line, they may try to just run it instead of throwing it with Jameis. So we're going to go with Peyton Barber here. Peyton Barber proved to be pretty good last year in fantasy, even though he wasn't that good in real life. He was okay to use in fantasy. So after Peyton Barber went, Emmanuel Sanders went, followed by Jerick McKinnon, Tom Brady, DK Metcalf. And now it's our pick again. So we are going to go with a running back again. And we're going to go with Mr. Ito Smith here because we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers, and that should be fine. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs. So we're going to go with the 6 and 6. Typically, I like to get more running backs than wide receivers, but in a 3 wide receiver league, having 6 and 6 is perfectly fine. And you don't need a backup quarterback since it's a 10-team league. If it was a 12-team league, I'd probably go backup. No, not backup quarterback in a 12-team league. If it was a 14-team league, 100% in a 12-team league potentially. So we're going to go with Ito Smith here because of the fact that Tevin Coleman departed the team. So now I'm thinking that he is going to end up running the ball. Oh my Jesus. The fact that Tevin Coleman has been departed and left, that means that there's a lot more touches that could go Ito Smith's way, obviously. Ito Smith may be plugged into what Tevin Coleman was doing this last year. Maybe not as much of a pass catcher. That may go to Devontae Freeman, but Devontae Freeman, as you guys all know, is an injury-prone sack of shit who we don't like drafting. So Ito Smith could be quite the pick here if Devontae Freeman does go down. And even if Devontae Freeman does go down, Ito Smith could have solid usage. So after Ito Smith went, Phillip Rivers went, followed by Deshaun Jackson, the Jaguars defense, Big Ben Roethlisberger, T.J. Hawkinson, James White, Chargers defense, Dak Prescott, Carlos Hyde, Paris Campbell, Baltimore Ravens, Kalen Ballage, Anthony Miller, and we wanted Dak Prescott, so we're just going to be stuck here with Josh Allen here. I like Josh Allen because he has an easy first 3-week matchup, and if I'm being honest with you, I'm probably cutting his ass week 4 and picking up someone different because he's playing the Patriots, and I don't want anything to do with Josh Allen against the Patriots. That is not a good play. So after Josh Allen, we went Dante Moncrief went, followed by Madison, 2 defenses, and now we get to pick our defense. And we're going to go with the Dallas Cowboys defense. But for the reason in that is because the Dallas Cowboys are playing the Giants week 1, so they're playing against either Eli or Daniel Jones. And no wideouts, because there's no wideouts on the team. They're all hurt or suspended. They're pretty much playing against Saquon and an interception machine. So Eli or Daniel Jones is going to throw them some picks. They're going to get sacked. And Saquon Barkley will probably score fucking 2 touchdowns, but you're still getting all these sack points, so we're going to like Dallas Cowboys here. But the reason why you're going to be picking a defense like the Dallas Cowboys and the way you're going to do that to find an easy week 1 schedule or a week 1 opponent is you're going to go on Google, type in NFL schedule week 1, and then just look at the schedule for every single game and find a defense that's playing against a shitty offense and go with that team. And then look at the point spread on Vegas. That can also help you. After we went with the Cowboys, Greg Zuerlein went, followed by the Browns. A bunch of kickers, defense. I'm not going to read off any names that aren't real players. Devin Funchess, who just got hurt, who can't catch a ball. Don't draft Devin Funchess. Naheem Hines, Justice Hill, G. Reg, the third leg Olsen, Tyrell Williams, and now we need a kicker. So we're going to go with the best one available, Robbie Gould. After we picked Robbie Gould, a bunch more kickers went. So our finishing team is Josh Allen at the quarterback, Saquon and Nick Chubb at the running back, Keenan Allen, Robert Woods, Chris Godwin as the wideouts. Our tight end is Hunter Henry. Our flex is Calvin Ridley. Our kicker is Gould. Our defense is the Dallas Cowboys. Our bench is comprised of Lamar Miller, Latavius Murray, D.D. Westbrook, Curtis Samuel, Peyton Barber, and Ito Smith. So thank you guys all for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please consider clicking that subscribe button down below because I'm going to help you guys win your league during the season, before the season in the draft, and then win in your championship in the playoffs. I'm going to be there for the whole time to help you. And then leave a like down below if you really enjoyed, and then leave a comment with anything, Tell me to go fuck myself. Whatever, it's fine. Just leave some type of comment. And then click on one of these videos that's on your screen right now and you'll get another funny, amazing commentary by myself. So have a great goddamn day, guys. I'll see you guys later, actually, at like 1 or 2 with the second video of today. So goodbye, guys.